Oh my goodness. Oh. The ship doggies. Max, about a 70-pound lab mix. He's a rescue. And he absolutely loves a butt rub. Then you have Dexton. Dexton we commonly refer to, all right, go Max. Go. Then you have Dexton. Dexton is a 25-pound cotton, and we refer to him as Spaz. He is an absolute spaz. But these are the ship doggies. Great dogs. They do exactly what you tell them to do. And we've had Max about 9 years. We've had Dexton about 8 years. And they're just good, great animals. So we bought a boat. And are we going to take them on the loop? Are they going to go boating with us? I don't know. Go.
Morning. Still morning.
So, it is still morning. But yeah, if somebody asked me right now, you're going on the loop in the morning, are you taking the dogs? 100% we are taking our dogs.
Yeah, and I think anybody else that has, I mean, they're your pets, they're your kids.
They're your kids.
You just have to accommodate, like you have to accommodate with children.
Number one question we get though
Is?
how do we do with the dogs and all this other stuff?
There's a lot of questions that we get about the dogs, like where do they use the bathroom is I think the number one, at least it has been the number one question. Where do they go potty? How do you get them on and off the boat? What kind of food? How often do they eat? Different things of that nature. Their habits. Where do they exercise? If you anchor out, how do you get them to land? And naturally, you do it by the tender, but there's a process in all of that, of how all that works. Life jackets, things of that nature. That Dexton didn't like at all whatsoever. But oh well, he didn't like a leash either when we first got him. But they get used to. Where do they sleep? What type beds do you have for them? The list can go on and on and on, and a lot of that stuff you just learn as you go.
So, since it's the number one question, I've actually developed a answer. What do you got? What are you doing? There's basically 4 different types of vessels. Including for the yacht or for the loop or just going out for the weekend, whatever, you have a sailboat and it comes with its own set of logistics, just like they all do. You have the motor yacht, which is what we currently own. You have the catamaran.
Mm-hmm.
We love.
We wouldn't be doing this video if we had a catamaran.
We
it
love
would be
the catamaran.
Figured out for us.
We just got to figure that puppy out, but we love the catamaran.
Yes, we do.
And then you have the trawlers, and which is what I really want. A la carte and all that other good stuff. So a trawler is great. And then of course there is no perfect loop boat or anything like that. You got houseboats, you got all kinds of different scenarios, the whole 9 yards. So, but what do you have is going to determine a lot as to how do you logistically move with the dogs in a daily setting, things like that. So,
right. So let me interject for just a second.
Yeah.
The rendezvous helped us a lot with this too, because we got a lot of information from other people that did travel with their pets, and everybody does it differently just because you have to accommodate what you have, what type pet you have. Very energetic, someone that's like blah, blah, blah. You have to accommodate that. And over 70% of the attendees, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, around 70% were still planners.
That blew my mind. That 70% going to the rendezvous were planning, and many of which didn't even own a boat yet. They were still looking for a boat.
And some of them were actually making the decision what boat to purchase based on their pets.
Yeah. And, and that is something to consider if they are a part of your life like they are ours.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start off with the basics. How do we get the dogs on and off the boat? That is something that's got to happen every single day, no matter what your setting is, whether you're on anchor, on a mooring ball, in a marina, fixed dock, floating dock, the whole 9 yards. You have to get the dogs on and off the boat. So in our case, let us just show you what we do. Hey guys, so this is the back of the Pamela D. This is a 53-foot motor yacht. So we're on a floating dock. So it's very easy access. The Admiral here is going to display how easy it is. Our dog literally just takes a step. And then, very easy for the dog to go back on the boat, this side or the other. And so getting on and off is just nothing to it. There's a step and a step. So that's basically about it. Now, we got some unexpected rain last night, but having that easy access step platform, each boat is different, between a trawler and, God forbid, a sailboat, this or the other. I've seen owners picking up 70-pound dogs over the rail. Gosh, that's brutal. We keep our P-pad back here. Of course, while we're underway, we will come down to basically an idle speed, let Dexton come outside, use the restroom. He goes right back inside. We have a closable gate. We keep this gate closed. We have a life throw cushion on the boat at all times. And then, of course, we keep our life ring right there. So just very easily, again, we got some rain, so the back of our deck's a little wet. Some of it's dry. But, just very easy back and forth. This is great for humans. We can step up to get onto an elevated fixed dock, but that is not going to be a good scenario for a dog. So then, of course, what do you use? We utilize two different things. We use a dog ramp and a dog ladder. We'll show a couple of pictures of those here and show you how we demonstrate getting the dogs on and off a boat utilizing the ramp and or the ladder. Each one has its own unique application. I use the ramp a lot on the tender because it has a rib on the side. So using that ramp to come over into the tender and then down into the tender. Same thing coming off the tender. So we'll show you that. But very easy to facilitate from a lower deck like this. So it just depends on the type of boat you have as to how you're going to facilitate getting your dog on and off the boat. Side rail entrances and things like that, you use a step system from the dock. There's plenty of other ways to facilitate it that's safe and easy. No big deal. Hey guys, so we use a company called Vevor, VEVOR.com. These are the ladders that we use. This is great for an elevated fixed dock, different tide levels going up and down. Holds 200 pounds, so perfect. And then, of course, we use the ramp. The ramp is 60 inches long, expanded, and bifolds. So both of these are collapsible, very easy to keep up. But number one thing you always want to do is keep the dog anytime out up front. Make sure we've always got a life jacket on, and adult supervision is a must at all times. This is an example of a buddy of ours using a dog. This is on a sailboat, so perfect application there. And then, of course, the dog roaming about up on the deck. Let's make sure that always keep it on a tether or a life jacket at a minimum. This is the last thing you want to see. A dog that's not having a good time, not enjoying the trip. They should be enjoying it just like us. I love how our videos stop and end. It's such a professional setting, is it not? I mean, we've been asked to direct multiple cinema films, but we decided to just stay on a boat. So
there's no time.
Yeah, so so there you are, getting them on and off, this or the other. So you might want to talk about.
Yeah, so let's talk about getting them. I was very concerned about how this was going to work because we have one that is super spastic and just has to have attention, runs around crazy. We have one that you have to check to see if he's breathing, periodically during the day. But anyway, you need a gradual introduction. What we did is we took the dogs on the boat with us one night, and we didn't move. We cranked the motor so they get used to the noise, whatever, but we didn't move. But suggestions are take short trips, come back, see how they do, you know, their beds and things of that nature. Bring something that they are accustomed to from your home that has their smell, so that they have a comfort level.
Their bed, their
toys, anything that they smell that makes them feel comfortable. Yeah, or even one of your t-shirts or whatever they can sleep with. Then training them to get on and off the boat. We are very lucky. Apparently, we're very good parents, but it is difficult for some dogs or cats or animals to get on and off. So you gotta, train on that, practice on that before you are actually on the water.
Yeah, most definitely. Guys, we're not experts, and another big question we get is, what's the perfect loop boat? Quit asking that question. There is no perfect loop boat. There is no perfect boat for dogs, just like there's no perfect boat for humans, this, that, or the other. And we're definitely not experts, but we've been doing this for, a little over 3,000 miles now. We've ported and went into anchor and into marinas, close to 100 times now. So we're getting there. We're getting our certificate slowly but surely with each success and each failure. But I want to cover, just understand your dog needs a quality of life on the boat just like you want. So having their own space, having a routine is important to them, just like it is for you. The whole 9 yards. But let's also talk about daily rocking and rolling with the dog on board. So you have to make scheduled potty breaks. We do that separately for the dogs because Dexton can go anywhere, Max cannot. So whether it's
Max will not. Yes.
So whether it's jumping on the tender or going into a marina or whatever the case may be, just going for a walk, that's getting you off the boat as well. So that's fine. Food and water, make sure you have plenty of food and water at all times for the dogs, because you may go somewhere and you can't move for a couple of days, whatever the case may be with weather. So just like you're stocking up water for yourself, make sure you got water stocked up for the dogs, food and supplies, this, that, or the other. And probably one of the biggest things we learned from the Boomershines, shout out to the Boomershines, you got to be a good guest. You are visiting, you are touring, you are in someone's marina, you're in someone's town, sometimes you're in someone's backyard. When we were locked up to friends of ours' backyard, I consciously did a walk through the yard before bedtime every single night. I did not want that homeowner to come outside and see my dog's poop sitting in his yard. That was just me, and I think that's the way it should be. You are representing AGLCA, you're representing your particular boat club, whatever you're a part of, you're a representation of that. So be a good
And you have to remember person. Also, some people don't like dogs. Some people don't like cats.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to cats. And some people just flat out are scared of dogs or don't like dogs.
Yeah, so cleaning up after your dog, waste management, leash, keeping them on a leash 100% of the time. When we were RVing, or when we RV, I'm guilty. They won't be on a leash quite as much because we're in nature. But when you're at a marina or whatever, you're surrounded by hundreds of other people, if not thousands. So you got to have good manners with your dog. No one wants to hear your dog yapping and screaming the whole time. People leave their dog up on the fly bridge for 3 or 4 hours. The dog is barking at everybody. You're probably going to get some looks and perhaps even a conversation from your fellow boaters if that's the case. AGLCA has put out some information on manners and things like that, but just remember, you're representing tens of thousands of people. If you're a member of AGLCA and you're flying that flag up front, you're representing us. We don't want to lose an amenity because someone wasn't a good boater the day before, and the host just says, well, don't worry about it, we just won't do that anymore. So we don't want that. Outside of that, with safety, you're bigger on the leash than or not the harness than I am, but even
life jackets,
first aid kits for dogs. Believe it or not, they actually, I didn't even know this till we started boating, but they actually make sunscreen for dogs.
I didn't even know that until you told me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to leave the dog in the cockpit, Max does like to lay out in the cockpit and stuff, you do need to spray some. He does lay out.
That dog.
And he's black, so it's not like he's getting a tan.
When he finally wakes up, he likes to go lay out.
So we actually do, put some sunscreen on the dog. It does help, definitely, most definitely. Back of your hand, feel the sand or the concrete or anything like that for like 7 seconds. If the back of your hand can't stand it, their paws can't take it neither. So make sure that you are, walks on the beach with the dog is great. We've done it once. The other time we got out there and I literally started walking, I noticed my feet were hot. I put my back of my hand down. We got the dogs off the beach immediately. That's just not going to happen. They're wanting to play, they're wanting to do this, that, or the other, but you're hurting them, not helping them.
Yeah, and they don't know.
And they don't know.
They depend on you.
But get with your vet as far as seasickness. Dogs do get seasick.
I give our dogs Dramamine.
Yeah.
Depending on weight.
Yeah.
And it works perfect.
And if typical solutions like that, over-the-counter solutions aren't good like that for you, then just get with your vet. They'll subscribe something. It's no big deal. There is no federal law about traveling with a dog on a boat for the U.S. There's just not a law about that. But when you go into these individual states, if you're on the loop, potentially you could be going into the mid-20s worth of states. So each state, each city, marina, just stay cognizant of any individual rules or laws or
we
ordinances.
Always ask when we dock,
Yeah.
Is there a place that we can take the dogs? And we have never, everybody has always been so accommodating. Even if there's a little patch of grass, they'll say, oh, if you go up here, there's a little patch of grass, but they'll help you.
Yeah. And, so just make sure you're cognizant of different rules and laws of the individual states, cities, marinas, whatever that you're in. International travel, Bahamian pets, something like that. They had our permit back to us the same day. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be going into Canadian waters. So we keep our dogs, paperwork with us just like
Make sure you keep updated records with you.
Yeah.
On the boat.
Yeah, and let your vet know what you're doing. So the vet, most vets are going to immediately tell you exactly what's needed to be able to move with the dog.
There's so much more that we could sit and talk about, but that's pretty much the basics of everything.
Routines. That's probably the number one deal. Be able to safely get your dog on and off the boat and daily routines. The last thing we want to talk about is the thing that no one wants to talk about. And if we upset anyone, I'm sorry, I don't want to upset anyone. I just want to remind you that you are on a boat, and anything fun and, that whole high adventure, low risk type deal, there are risks. I mean, if you have a dog go in the water, just be mindful of the situation. From my background, a little bit of Pam's background, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you don't become the second emergency. You're not helping anyone if you need help as well. So if a dog does go in the water, look at the situation and figure out how to attack to get the dog safely back on board. Well, I showed you in the earlier video, we keep a throw ring, we keep a life sling, we have life jackets, the whole 9 yards.
We even have that long pole. I know there's a name for it.
Yeah, the grab
pole.
Grab
pole.
Grab pole. So, we have a expandable ladder to get back on and off the boat if we have a MOB or a man overboard situation. So just don't panic and jump. You're not helping if now we got two things in the water and the dog's literally going to attack you like a drowning person. They're in a fight to survive mode just like you would be. So you have to practice those events. Who's got the responsibility of doing what during what event, to the extent that you can, practice. But just mostly have assigned duties. That way you'll resort back to that a lot of times if anything like that happens. If anybody's got any specific questions about moving with the dogs or anything like that. Or suggestions.
We're always
or a better way to
asking
do it.
for suggestions.
Of course. So if anybody's got anything like that or anything, please ask in the comments below, and we'll make sure we respond immediately. Outside of that, you guys take your animals with you. These are memories that you will never forget.
Great
There are
pictures.
stories you tell at Doc Tales about the crazy spaz or the lazy daisy, you know, onky donk, you know, type deal. It's man's best friend. There's not much more you can say.
And
Share a smile.